Bonjour à tous et bienvenue à ma chaîne YouTube. Today, on my workbench, I have Marvin's Breckwell brand Pellet Stove Controller. As you can see, this is an all-black box, model number 230-0120, and this one has a serial number of 54682. Marvin sent me this controller, along with an older unit. I have a previous video on that one, because neither one of the controllers would drive the heater element. As I learned through troubleshooting these two controllers, it's most probable that Marvin has a problem in his stove relating to chafed or worn through insulation on the heater element wiring. So I've already spoken to Marvin about this, and I asked him to thoroughly inspect all the wiring on his stove and make sure that it's correct, that it doesn't have any damage to it or that it is causing short circuits, which caused the problem I saw in both of his controllers. In any case, I have Marvin's newer controller here. I've completed all the repairs to it, I've pre-tested it, and everything's fine with it now. So I'm ready to do a final test on it. As you can see, Marvin's controller is connected to my tester, and my tester is made up of a few items. Of course, there's the controller here. There's a little green light here, which is the call for heat indicator. That's the same kind of light that you have on the back of your stove. There's a thermostat, just like the one you have on your wall. I have a temperature simulator here, which is used to simulate the temperature of the fire pit. That's actually simulating the voltage delivered by the TC at the fire pit. I have a faceplate which holds an actual auger motor. The motor is mounted at the rear, the shaft comes out the front, and on the front of the shaft I have an X marks the spot type decal on it. So when the controller is asking for the auger to drive, you'll see this X marks the spot spin, and you'll hear the auger motor drive. At the rear of the system, I have 4 light bulbs. The 4 light bulbs simulate different functions of your stove. The first one simulates the igniter. The one in blue simulates the combustion or the firebox fan. In yellow, I have the auger motor simulator. And in red at the far end, the convection or room fan. For this controller, we will not see the red light come on. That is a function that is controlled by the stove itself, not the controller. So let's go ahead and apply power to this system. That will turn on the controller, and it will cause one light to come on. The exhaust fan will come on. There it is. We see the exhaust fan has come on. So everything is functioning correctly now. We're not calling for heat, so the green light's not on, and nothing else is running. We're currently simulating a temperature of 70 degrees Fahrenheit. So if we were to do a call for heat by actuating the thermostat, we see a few things have happened. The auger motor has started spinning. We see it here on X marks the spot is spinning. You might hear it in the video. And the auger simulator light at the back has come on. We also have the igniter that has come on, which is the main problem that Marvin sent me the controller for. So that is functional. And finally, I'll note that the call for heat lamp is on. Notice that the call for heat lamp is on. So if I turn that off, the call for heat lamp goes off. So that is functioning correctly. Now with the call for heat in place, we see the auger motor driving. That will drive for 2 minutes. If I don't change any of the temperature settings, the auger motor will drive for 2 minutes before stopping. We also see that the igniter is on, and that will drive for about 8 minutes. I've pre-tested both of those functions, and they are working correctly. I also pre-tested the 15-minute timeout on the combustion fan, and that is functional as well. I will say at this point that there are 5 timers inside the controller. I checked them all, and they are all functioning correctly. The last thing I'll note is that on the box itself I added a decal, and I noted that the green light at the side here will come on at approximately 230 degrees Fahrenheit, and the red light over here will come on at approximately 950 degrees Fahrenheit. So let's look for that to happen when we increase the temperature. So I'm really just waiting for the auger to shut itself down here to show that the timeout will work. And once that's done, I'll start increasing the temperature. That might take another minute or so, but I'm hoping not so much. There you have it. The auger shut itself off on its own, so that is functioning correctly. We do have a call for heat, if you recall. So let's increase the temperature, and as I approach 230 degrees Fahrenheit, we should see this green LED come on. There we go, 230. That caused the auger to start driving. The element lamp is still on. So now new pellets that are being fed into the fire pit are being warmed up, and they should eventually ignite. As the temperature of the fire pit increases, because the heater's on, the temperature increases, and as we approach the 950 degrees Fahrenheit point, we should see the red light come on the controller. We're at 800. There we go. The red light has come on. We still have the green light on. And when that happened, the igniter has shut itself off. So let me backtrack a little bit. Turn it off. Off. The igniter comes back on. On. Notice what happens there? With the red light off, the igniter is on. Nonetheless, the auger continues to drive. At this point, what would happen is the fire would be building up in the fire pit. The convection fan would eventually turn on and the room would warm up, which causes the thermostat to shut off. And as it does that, the auger stops driving. The fire pit temperature will slowly diminish because no new pellets are being added into the fire, and the room cools. The thermostat calls for heat. The auger drives more pellets into the firebox. Fire roars, the room warms up, the temperature stops calling for heat, the room cools a little bit. Again, the thermostat kicks in, we add more pellets to the fire, and fire roars and the room warms up. This cycle will continue until either somebody shuts off the thermostat or we run out of pellets in the hopper. So there we have it, Marvin. Your newer controller, number 2 as I call it, is fully functional. It shows everything to be working correctly. I do want to thank you very much for sending me this controller. I appreciate it. For all you viewers out there, if you have a pellet stove controller of your own that needs to be serviced, whether it's a QuadraFire like this one, a USSC, Breckwell, or other brand, please feel free to contact me. I'd be more than happy to discuss this with you. You can find my contact information in the video description just below this video. In the meantime, I hope you'll take a few minutes to subscribe to my channel and leave this video a thumbs up. I'd appreciate that very much. Thanks everyone. Bye-bye.